Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Books and Bytes. Today we're
Oh.
taking a deep dive into ancient India with the recognition of Shakuntala,
Okay.
a classic Sanskrit drama by the renowned poet Kalidasa.
I'm excited to dive into this one.
Yeah, this one is really
It's a really fascinating piece. And
I think it's so much more than a love story.
oh yeah.
So
absolutely.
what's so fascinating about this work?
Well, it's so much more than a simple love story, really. Imagine falling in love so deeply that it just consumes you, only to have your beloved just vanish from your memory.
Oh, wow.
Like that's the heart-wrenching premise of the recognition of Shakuntala.
Mhm.
And through this story, Kalidasa explores themes of love, duty memory, societal expectations, and the very nature of truth and recognition.
Okay, so that definitely sets the stage for a captivating journey.
It does.
Can you give us a little taste of the plot and the main players involved?
Absolutely. We have King Dushyanta, a powerful ruler who encounters Shakuntala, a beautiful and virtuous hermit girl, while on a hunting expedition. They fall deeply in love and enter a secret marriage.
Ooh, secret marriage.
However,
Yo.
their happiness is short-lived due to a curse and a series of unfortunate events. Dushyanta forgets Shakuntala, rejecting her when she arrives at his palace.
Oh, wow.
It's only through a lost ring, a symbol of their love, that his memory is restored, paving the way for a reunion filled with both joy and sorrow.
Wow. A lost ring, a forgotten love, a king who can't remember his own wife.
Yeah.
It sounds like something straight out of a modern soap opera.
It really does.
But I'm guessing there's a lot more to it than that, right?
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Kalidasa masterfully weaves together elements of romance, drama, and even political commentary. He invites us to think about the complexities of human relationships, the power of fate, and the often unseen forces that shape our lives.
Yeah, those unseen forces get you every time.
They do.
All right, so let's dive into this epic tale.
Okay.
Act 1 opens with Dushyanta on a hunt, right?
It does, yes.
But this isn't just any ordinary hunt, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Kalidasa uses this opening scene to transport us into this world of lush beauty and natural wonder.
Okay.
His descriptions of the forest are so vivid that you can practically hear the rustling leaves and smell the fragrant flowers.
You're really drawing me in. I feel like I'm there.
You're right there with him.
So
it's during this hunt that Dushyanta stumbles upon the hermitage where Shakuntala lives, setting the stage for their fateful encounter.
So the setting itself almost becomes like a character?
It does.
Almost reflecting the beauty and innocence of Shakuntala?
Yeah.
What's their first meeting like?
It's a charming blend of humor and attraction. Okay.
Dushyanta is instantly captivated by Shakuntala's beauty and grace. But Kalidasa doesn't shy away from showing his more comical side.
Oh.
The king's reaction is almost like a love-struck teenager, completely smitten with this hermit girl.
It's very relatable.
It is very relatable.
Well, we've all had those moments of being completely swept off our feet.
Exactly.
What about Shakuntala?
Right.
Is it love at first sight for her as well?
Her reactions are more subtle, but equally powerful. There's a delightful scene involving a bee that buzzes around Shakuntala. And her reaction to it cleverly reveals her growing feelings for Dushyanta.
Interesting.
It's a small detail,
but
it speaks volumes about her budding affection for the king.
It's like that bee is a playful Cupid, kind of nudging them together.
It is.
It reminds me of how sometimes even the smallest things can play a role in bringing people together.
That's true.
Have you ever experienced anything like that?
Oh, absolutely.
A seemingly insignificant event that led to something much bigger. Life is full of those unexpected turns and chance encounters. But getting back to our story, Act 2 takes us from the idyllic hermitage to the grandeur of the king's court. We're introduced to a whole new cast of characters, including the jester Mahavya, whose witty banter provides some comic relief.
I like it already.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how Kalidasa can shift so seamlessly between these different settings and tones. We go from the tranquility of nature to the bustling world of the palace. And yet it all feels connected, like pieces of a larger puzzle.
Exactly.
And within this new setting, we see Dushyanta grappling with a dilemma many of us face. balancing personal desire with societal expectations.
It's a constant struggle.
He's deeply in love with Shakuntala.
He is.
But he's also a king with duties and responsibilities.
Absolutely.
So he's caught between his heart and his head, so to speak.
Precisely.
And this internal conflict is a major driving force throughout the play.
It is.
It raises questions about the sacrifices we make for love, the weight of societal norms, and the challenge of reconciling our true selves with the roles we're expected to play.
It's a timeless conflict that still resonates with us today.
Absolutely.
Good.
But despite these internal struggles, Dushyanta finds ways to spend time with Shakuntala, doesn't he?
He does.
Remember that request to protect the hermitage?
Right.
Well, this allows Dushyanta to return to that world of natural beauty.
Yes.
And, of course, to be near Shakuntala.
Of course.
And in Act 3, their romance truly blossoms.
Yes, it does. This is where Kalidasa's poetic language really shines.
Okay.
He paints a vivid picture of their blossoming love, using sensual descriptions and playful dialogue to convey the depth of their connection. It's in this act that we encounter one of the most famous passages in the play.
Cool.
Shakuntala, reflecting on her feelings for Dushyanta, says, "My heart, like a bee that has tasted the sweetness of the mango blossom,
oh, wow,
refuses to leave this newfound delight."
That's beautiful.
I had a beautiful image.
The sweetness of the mango blossoms, the bee lingering.
Yeah.
It perfectly captures the intoxicating nature of their love.
It does.
It's no wonder this passage has resonated with readers for centuries.
Absolutely.
And it's not just the imagery that's powerful.
No.
Kalidasa skillfully shifts his language in this act, using more lyrical and evocative phrases to reflect the heightened emotions of the characters.
He does.
You can almost feel the passion simmering beneath the surface.
You can.
So the language itself becomes a reflection of their love story, almost like a musical score that swells and intensifies as their emotions deepen.
Exactly.
But as we know, their happiness is fleeting.
Unfortunately.
Act 4 takes on a more somber tone, doesn't it?
It does, yes. Act 4 marks Shakuntala's departure from the hermitage, her journey to Dushyanta's palace to begin her new life as his wife. But even as she bids farewell to her friends and the natural world that she loves, there's a sense of foreboding, a subtle undercurrent of unease.
Interesting. So even amidst this joyous transition, there are hints of the trials to come.
Yes.
What contributes to that feeling of unease?
There are a few things at play here. First, there are the various omens and symbols that Kalidasa weaves into the narrative. For example, as Shakuntala is leaving, one of her companions notices a broken vine, a traditional symbol of separation. Then there's the advice that Shakuntala receives, particularly from the hermit Kanva. He cautions her about the challenges she'll face in the royal court, urging her to be patient and submissive, especially towards her rivals.
Interesting you mentioned the advice about being submissive. While it reflects the times, it also seems to contradict that independent spirit we see in Shakuntala earlier. Could this be Kalidasa subtly critiquing those societal norms?
That's a great question.
Even as he portrays them.
That's a question that scholars have debated for centuries.
Wow.
Is Kalidasa simply reflecting the societal expectations of his time? Or is he offering a subtle critique of those expectations? I think it's open to interpretation. And that's part of what makes this play so fascinating. It invites us to engage with these complex issues and to draw our own conclusions.
It's a reminder that even these ancient texts can still spark relevant conversations about societal norms and gender roles.
They do.
But let's not forget, there's also a curse hanging over Shakuntala.
Oh, yes. The curse.
How does that factor into her departure?
It's crucial to remember that this curse, cast upon Shakuntala by the short-tempered sage Durvasas, plays a pivotal role in the events that unfold. Because of this curse, Dushyanta will forget Shakuntala until he sees the ring he gave her.
The ring.
Yes.
We haven't talked about the ring in detail.
Right.
But it seems like this seemingly insignificant object holds a lot of weight in the story.
It absolutely does. The ring serves as a tangible symbol of their love. And more importantly, a key to unlocking Dushyanta's memory. It's a reminder that sometimes even the smallest things can carry immense meaning and power.
Yeah, like that one sock that's missing from the dryer.
Exactly.
But for now, as Shakuntala journeys towards the palace, the curse remains a ticking time bomb.
It does.
Waiting to detonate and shatter her dreams of happiness.
Unfortunately, yes.
And detonate, it does.
It does.
In Act 5, the story takes that tragic turn we alluded to earlier.
Yeah.
Shakuntala arrives at the palace full of hope and anticipation.
Yeah.
Only to be met with what?
Rejection.
Oh, no.
Utter and heartbreaking rejection. Dushyanta, under the influence of the curse, doesn't recognize her.
Wow.
He claims to have no memory of her.
Oh, my goodness.
Of their love, of their marriage.
That's just gut-wrenching.
It is.
To travel all that way, only to be dismissed by the person you love most.
Yeah.
It's unimaginable.
It's devastating.
What's going through Shakuntala's mind at this moment?
You can only imagine the pain and confusion she must be feeling. Here she is carrying his child.
Oh, wow.
And he's treating her like a stranger. Accusing her of lying, of trying to trick him.
That's awful.
It's a devastating blow.
Yeah.
And it's made even more poignant by the fact that we, the audience, know the truth.
Right.
We've witnessed their love story unfold, so we understand the depth of her pain and the injustice of the situation.
It's a classic case of dramatic irony, isn't it?
It is.
We know what's going on, but the characters are in the dark.
Right.
And that creates this incredible tension and empathy for Shakuntala.
Absolutely.
Do any of the other characters try to intervene?
They do.
To convince Dushyanta of the truth?
Yes. Several characters, including the seers who witnessed their marriage, try to persuade Dushyanta. They plead with him, reminding him of his time at the hermitage, but their words fall on deaf ears. His mind is clouded by the curse, and he refuses to believe them.
So even the voices of reason are powerless against the force of this curse.
It seems that way.
It's like when you misplace your keys.
Right.
You know, you had them, but they've vanished.
Exactly.
Now imagine that feeling amplified 1,000-fold.
Wow.
Applied to the person you love most. That's the emotional turmoil Dushyanta is facing.
Absolutely.
And that brings us to Act 6.
Yes.
Where the tone shifts to one of longing and regret.
It does.
Dushyanta, still unaware of the truth, begins to feel a void in his life, a sense of something missing. It's the classic case of you don't know what you've got till it's gone.
Exactly.
So how does he finally start to piece together the fragments of his lost memory?
The turning point comes with the discovery of the ring.
Okay.
A fisherman finds the ring, recognizes the royal seal, and brings it to the palace.
Okay.
As soon as Dushyanta lays eyes on it, the floodgates of memory open.
Oh, wow.
He's overwhelmed with remorse, realizing the grave mistake he's made.
The ring.
Yeah.
That small object becomes the catalyst for a monumental shift in his consciousness.
It does.
And it makes me think about the seemingly insignificant things in our own lives that can carry immense meaning.
Right.
What about you?
Oh, absolutely.
Do any objects hold that kind of emotional power for you?
We all have those objects that serve as touchstones to the past, reminders of loved ones, of pivotal moments of who we are. Yeah. But for Dushyanta, this realization comes at a great cost. He's lost Shakuntala, the woman he loves.
And now he's consumed by guilt and despair.
It's a powerful moment of reckoning.
It is.
He's forced to confront the consequences of his actions, the pain he's caused, and the love he's thrown away. What does this realization do to him?
Well,
how does he cope with this newfound knowledge?
Act 6 is filled with Dushyanta's expressions of anguish and longing.
Okay.
He tries to recreate Shakuntala's image in his mind, desperately clinging to any fragments of memory he can salvage.
Oh, wow.
There's a particularly poignant scene where he's trying to paint a picture of her, but he can't quite capture her likeness.
Oh.
And that inability to recreate her visually only intensifies his emotional turmoil.
Yeah. So he's haunted by her absence.
He is.
Both physically and in his memory.
Yes.
It's a reminder that sometimes, even when we realize our mistakes, it's too late to undo the damage we've done.
Unfortunately, yes.
And this sense of loss and regret permeates the rest of Act 6.
It does, setting the stage for the final act where we hope, at least for some kind of resolution.
Yes.
So we're left with Dushyanta, heartbroken and filled with regret, longing for the woman he pushed away.
Yeah.
Does Act 7 offer any solace?
It does.
Is there any redemption for him? And perhaps more importantly for Shakuntala.
Act 7 does indeed bring a sense of resolution and, thankfully, joy.
Okay.
Remember, this is Sanskrit drama.
Right.
And the concept of abhyudaya, a positive outcome or happy ending, is central to the genre.
Okay.
It's not just a feel-good moment, though.
Right.
This idea of abhyudaya represents a striving for balance, for a restoration of order after trials and tribulations.
Okay.
It's a reminder that even when things seem darkest, there's always hope for a brighter resolution.
It's a comforting thought.
It is.
Especially after the emotional roller coaster we've been on with these characters.
Yeah.
But how does this brighter resolution actually come about? What leads to their reunion?
Well, Dushyanta, in an attempt to distract himself from his sorrow, embarks on a journey to visit the sage Maricha. Along the way, he encounters a young boy playing with a lion cub.
Wait, a lion cub?
Yeah.
That's quite an entrance.
It is.
Who is this extraordinary child?
It's none other than Sarvadamana,
okay,
Dushyanta and Shakuntala's son.
Oh, wow.
Of course, Dushyanta doesn't know this yet.
Right.
He's drawn to the boy's noble character and even mentions that the boy has webbed fingers, a sign of a future emperor.
Wow.
It's as if he's sensing that shared lineage, that connection, even if he can't consciously place it yet.
The irony is palpable.
It is.
He's searching for solace, for redemption.
Yeah.
And unknowingly stumbles upon the very embodiment of the love he's lost.
Right.
It's almost like fate is orchestrating this encounter, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
And then, of course, the truth is revealed. The reunion between Dushyanta and Shakuntala is filled with emotional release.
Yes.
After all the longing and despair they've endured. There are tears of joy, expressions of forgiveness, and a profound sense of gratitude for this second chance at love and family.
It's beautiful.
I can only imagine the mix of emotions.
Yeah.
The relief, the joy, the bittersweet acknowledgement of all they've been through. It sounds like a truly cathartic moment for both of them.
It is.
But what about the curse?
Right.
How is that resolved?
Divine intervention plays a key role here.
Okay.
Durvasa's the sage who cast the curse appears and explains the curse has served its purpose.
Okay.
It was meant to test Dushyanta, to force him to confront his actions, and to truly appreciate the value of his love for Shakuntala.
It seems like a rather harsh lesson.
It does.
But I suppose even the gods have their ways of teaching us humility and appreciation.
Yeah.
So with the curse lifted and the family reunited, does the play simply end on this happy note?
It does, and in grand style.
Okay.
There's a final scene where the gods themselves descend from heaven to bless the reunited family.
Okay.
It's a celebration of love, of forgiveness, and ultimately of the triumph of good over evil. It's a fitting end to a story that has taken us on such an emotional journey.
Speaking of the journey, as we wrap up our deep dive into the recognition of Shakuntala, what are some of the key takeaways you hope our listeners will glean from this experience?
There are so many layers to the story, so many threads to pull at.
Right.
We've witnessed the power of love, the pain of loss, the complexities of memory, and the weight of societal expectations.
Right.
But what I find particularly striking is the play's commentary on societal expectations and assumptions. Remember how Shakuntala is judged and doubted simply because she arrives at the palace alone?
Yes, that moment really highlighted how societal norms can sometimes blind us to the truth.
Right.
How we often rush to judgment based on appearances or preconceived notions.
Exactly.
And even Dushyanta the king is swayed by those assumptions, failing to recognize his own wife.
Right.
It's a reminder that even those in positions of power are susceptible to prejudice and misjudgment.
Absolutely.
And that's a lesson that's just as relevant today as it was centuries ago.
Yes.
It's a powerful reminder to question our assumptions,
yes,
to challenge those societal norms that can lead to injustice,
right,
and to strive for a more discerning and compassionate way of seeing the world.
Beautifully put.
And ultimately, I think the recognition of Shakuntala invites us to reflect on our own capacity for recognition.
Yes.
Not just recognizing others for who they truly are,
right,
but also recognizing ourselves, our strengths, our weaknesses, and our potential for growth.
It does.
That's a wonderful note to end on. It's been a truly insightful journey.
It has.
Exploring the depths of this timeless tale. So to our listeners,
Yeah.
We encourage you to seek out the recognition of Shakuntala.
Please do.
And embark on your own journey of discovery.
Yes.
You might be surprised by what you find.
Yeah.
Not just within the story, but within yourselves.
Absolutely.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive into a fascinating topic.
Okay.
Until then, keep those minds curious
and
keep exploring.